Sports is primarily known for its winners, its winning teams, its winning players, its winning fighters, whatever the case may be, depending on the sport. Team sport, individual sport, it's primarily known for who wins the most championships, who has the greatest win-loss records, who's, wins and losses. But it's also a business too. Part of that's also merchandise, retail, and sometimes nicknames play a big role in it as well. Usually certain nicknames when they're cool can make a player more marketable, can help boost jersey sales, help boost media attention, and that goes the case for all sports. In this video, we're going to explore some of the coolest nicknames in NBA history. Now, this is going to follow last one I did of boxing about the coolest nicknames in boxing, but this one with the NBA got a lot more nicknames, so I'm going to breeze through them kind of real quickly. So for the coolest nicknames in NBA history, let's start off with the Dream, Hakeem Olajuwon. The Dream's the perfectly fitting nickname, but that's the art of a lot of these nicknames. It's something that ties in well with them. Like the Dream perfectly rhyme with Hakeem, because he was the franchise savior for the Rockets, and in some ways he was the Dream. Coming from a foreign country over to the United States, making a whole lot of money as a superstar in the NBA and changing his life going forward. All right, but Hakeem the Dream was the perfect catchy name that it also made him marketable alongside his dominance on the court. Next one, the Answer, Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson was marketable for a lot of reasons, but the Answer fits in more so with his prowess as a dominant player for the Philadelphia 76ers, more so than it did all the other factors. The dreads, the hip-hop culture, he pretty much forced the NBA to change the dress code. All that was part of his marketability. But the Answer fit perfectly with his style of play, being the leader for the Sixers, where outside of Iverson, they didn't really have a lot of main guys that could really help. But the Answer fit in perfectly with him, especially being that the Sixers were a dreadful team and he took over and turned them around. Perfectly fitting nickname for a franchise player. Next, White Chocolate, Jason Williams. Now, Jason Williams was more of a role player, but the nickname itself, White Chocolate, was kind of cool. Had a cool vibe to him. It got people's attention, got media's attention. That made him one of the more marketable role players during his time. Moving right along. Agent Zero Gilbert Arenas. I know Gilbert Arenas is annoying with his takes on his podcast for a lot of you, but we got to acknowledge Agent Zero was a cool nickname, especially when he was the leader of the Washington Wizards. I got to give him that. I'm not going to take that away. It was one of the things that made him marketable during his tenure as a superstar for the Wizards before he brought weapons into the facility and pretty much ruined his own career. But Agent Zero was still an awesome nickname nonetheless. Next one, the Joker, Nikola Jokic. Along with being a great player, he also has that joking, goofy type personality, which has also made him marketable as well. Even going, as you see in this picture, embracing the Joker outfit, the Joker memes. It's another thing that's made him marketable as well, having a cool nickname that fits in with one of the coolest characters with the DC Comics. Another one, the baby-faced assassin Steph Curry. Now, granted, he did steal the nickname from retired featherweight boxing legend Marco Antonio Barrera, but the baby-faced assassin fits perfectly with Steph Curry. Him having that clean-cut, likable image with the media, and the way he just drills threes like an assassin. Like most nicknames, it's all about having the right catchy ring to it, and Steph Curry's babyface assassin nickname does it. But speaking of that, moving on, Clyde the Glide Drexler. Clyde Drexler's fast-paced, exciting style for his era could have a lot of nicknames, but in his case, the Glide, rhyming with Clyde, fit perfectly. It was the perfect word that described his style, perfect rhyme, which also helped his marketability, as well as being one of the most exciting players for his generation. Moving on, Dr. J. Julius Erving, another Sixer great, dominating the NBA for a little bit, one of the basketball legends. But Dr. J, it's one of those things that has that cool vibe, fit perfectly with his first name, very creative, and played a big role in being marketable as well as being a great player. Next one, The Black Mamba, Kobe Bryant. This was perfect. It's something that still to this day lives on. The Mamba legacy still lives on to this day, even after 5 years after Kobe's passed. The way he approached the game, that working, relentless work ethic, deciding that he was going to control his work ethic, make sure he outworked everybody, and that's what made him so great. And that nickname fit perfectly with everything that resembled Kobe's mentality. It was the perfect catchy nickname that a lot of players still are influenced by to this day. I see a lot of players try to play that Mamba basketball. Now, unfortunately, a lot of them aren't as good as Kobe, but hey, it's obviously very influential and it fit perfectly with Kobe's style. Moving on to the next one, the Admiral, David Robinson. What can I say? He was in the Navy. The Admiral fit perfectly with his Navy background. It was one of the things that made him marketable, along with being one of the clean-cut guys from the NBA, encouraging people to say no to drugs and to live the clean lifestyle. The Admiral fit perfectly with his lifestyle and image, and once again, just like all great nicknames, if you have the right ring, you can have a catchy nickname that can help make you marketable. And the Admiral added just a little bit more to David Robinson's marketability. Now the next one, Showtime Magic Johnson. Now why Showtime, yes? Because it seemed like every time the Lakers played during that era, that exciting team with Magic, you had Dwight Cooper, or was it Ben Cooper, Magic Johnson, Ben Cooper, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and company. That Lakers team right there, it felt like a show every time they played. Particularly led by Magic Johnson. That's where the nickname Showtime came from. Because it was like a show, both on and on the court for Magic Johnson. On the court, that was his best friend. Off the court, that Showtime lifestyle was his worst enemy as he contracted HIV, but this isn't about that. It was one of those great nicknames that that clicked perfectly because it felt like a show. The next one, the Greek Freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Yes, that's right. Fits perfectly with his what's the word I'm looking? It fits perfectly with his physique, his style, and perfect right there. He's from Greece. You got the Greek freak, perfect rhyme. Fits perfectly with his size and style, and that helps with his marketability. And another one, going back to the old school days, Pete Maravich from the Utah Jazz. Pistol Pete. Described his shooting style perfectly, had that nice catchy ring to it. And another one of those cool nicknames. Next, the Iceman, George Gervin. George Gervin, the original Spur. But hey, for whatever reason, the Iceman just fit perfectly. Whoever came up with it coined a cool nickname. It still sticks out to this day. Next one, Chocolate Thunder, Darryl Dawkins. Now, Darryl Dawkins wasn't exactly the best player on this list, but he had one of the coolest nicknames in NBA history. Chocolate Thunder fit perfectly with his powerhouse style of play. Just, basically that had that vibe of him thundering over his opponents, which just created that perfect nickname. Just something I thought about after saying Chocolate Thunder, but yeah, man. Darryl Dawkins, man, perfect nickname. And last but not least, Goran the Dragon Dragic. Now, Goran Dragic, I thought his prime with the Suns was a bit overrated, but he had an awesome nickname, the Dragon. And that was one of the things that made him one of the more marketable European players at his time. Dragic, because he came up as an all-star just before, the real European invasion, so to say. Before Jokic, Doncic, Giannis, so on and so forth. Well, Giannis being the first of the three, but you know what I mean. Dragic came a few years before that. He was kind of that first that set the tone for the European invasion. Even though those other three would clearly go on to accomplish bigger and better things as players, Dragic was one of those guys that came in shortly before that over from Slovenia. Did make an all-star team with the Suns and had a cool nickname in the Dragon. But I'll leave it at that. This was more so just to explore the cool nicknames throughout the NBA. But you guys, more than welcome to comment. Let me know what your cool nicknames are. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe. That's all I got for you for now. Until next time, it's your boy Nicky Steez signing off. Peace.